Huge congratulations to myself for 100,000 subscribers. It's not what I was trying to say. Not going great so far. 100,000 subscribers. Huge thank you to all you folks out there that subscribed and continue to watch the videos. Never would have thought this was possible, but I guess it's time now to do a questions video. And to be honest, I was working on a project that I was making a video on, but it kind of went off the rails. My wife is back to work. She's a principal of an elementary school and things are pretty busy around here. So I'm doing a questions video. I put out a post the other day on the community feed. Got all kinds of questions. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can as quickly as possible without rambling. We'll see how that goes. First question here comes from KDS471. I'd like to know if you own your own business, work for someone, or something else. And if you do your own, how do you juggle estimating material, pickup, production? I'm always debating going out on my own, but it seems daunting. Now this is a great question. It's kind of the age-old question for the tradesperson. Do you go out on your own? Do you work for somebody else? I've kind of done it all. I started off working with my dad and then for my uncles. Then I was on my own for a bit. And then I went to work for a big company, kind of running jobs. Hated that. And then I got into cabinet installation, at which point you become kind of an independent contractor in a lot of cases. And that's what I did. And I kind of like that the best. You're kind of on your own, but you kind of work for somebody else. So you don't have to deal with all the stress of finding jobs, dealing with people. That's something that I found out about myself is I really don't like dealing with people, talking on the phone, just being nice to people that I don't really like for that matter. So I've always enjoyed being kind of having my own business, but primarily working for other companies or other contractors. And now currently I've kind of given up cabinet installation, and probably for about the last 6 months or so, it's just been making YouTube videos. Here's one. I used to have a towel bar in the hallway bathroom, but my toddler somehow pulled it off. Tried to install it again, but I found that the walls were just too flimsy. How can I fix this? Do I have to install new drywall? Yes, no. What you need to do here is, those towel bars are pretty Mickey Mouse. Sometimes they have those little plastic inserts that people put in. Those are just gonna pull out every time. You're gonna wanna step up your drywall anchor. If it's pulled out and there's a giant hole already there, what you can get is a little flip out toggle bolt, they're called. They're basically a little spring type mechanism that goes on a bolt and it flips in like this. You push it into the hole, it flips out, and then it's pretty secure. So grab a couple of those. Those are not gonna get pulled out of the wall by the toddlers. Repairing small areas in walls that have skip trowel texture. What is my best course of action? Sponge spray texture finger. Again, I put a link to a Vancouver Carpenter video for this. He's an expert on all these types of things. Basically what you want to do is kind of recreate the texture and then knock it down with a putty knife. But again, there's a lot of good videos out there on the internet. How to get your ceiling fan to stop wobbling and making that clicking noise. Well, if your ceiling fan is wobbling, it's probably unbalanced on the blades. You can try taping like coins to the blades to try and get it to balance out. It's a bit of trial and error, but it can be done. I've done it before. It just takes a bit of time. Basically, you need to balance the thing out so it's not wobbling on an orbit. What is the best wood glue? Well, the wood glues that I use for any kind of like a flat wood on wood type situation, I would use Type Bond 2. It's kind of water resistant. I don't know, it's a good all-around glue. If you really need to glue like something different to wood or to drywall or virtually anything to anything, PL Premium is the best glue in the world in my opinion. This stuff's unbelievable. Like I'm gonna be making this, spoiler alert, a blanket ladder out of some 2x4 material, and I'm gonna be gluing these rungs into these little recessed router piece. And yeah, like you could use wood glue, it'd probably be fine, but I'll end up using PL Premium because that will never break apart, like ever. So PL Premium is definitely my favorite glue. Wood glue has its place. And then if you need to get some kind of instant bond, I like this 2P10 that comes with an activator. This is basically a CA glue. You can find this stuff online, any kind of a CA glue. They're all fairly similar. I prefer the 2P10. And then as well, I do use this spray adhesive contact cement stuff quite a bit. There's a lot of cool applications you can do with this. You can combine these two glues together to do different things. So yeah, these are kind of my 4 go-to glues. PC Ken says, I'm building some simple shelves in the lower level of our tri-level. The walls below grade are drywall against concrete. What are your recommendations for the best way to secure the bookshelves to the wall? This is a cool question. And something I'm happy to share with attaching stuff to concrete. Now you can get those blue Tapcon screws. Sometimes they work good depending on the concrete that you're going into. Sometimes they don't. So what I like to do for attaching things to concrete is something that I kind of learned back in the framing days. And that is to take like a masonry bit, drill yourself like an 1/8 inch, 3/16 of an inch hole into the concrete. Then take some wire, some tie wire preferably, or any kind of wire that you have. And then it's a bit of trial and error. Usually it's like 2 pieces of wire, could be 3 or 4 depending on the size screw that you have and the hole that you've drilled. Take the wire, push it into the concrete, and then just screw that in there. And what ends up happening is the wire and the screw will just bind itself into the concrete. So give that a try, the wire and screw method. Sherry K asks, how do you finish the top landing step from the flooring to make it look finished? And definitely need help with that. Yeah, and I had asked her and she said she was using some type of a laminate flooring. So with a laminate flooring at the top of a stair riser, you need to get a special trim that can kind of sit over top of the laminate so that it has room to expand and contract, and then also comes down and provides a nosing for the stair. Yeah, unfortunately with laminate, there's not much that you can do to get around that. You could potentially take the laminate, maybe kind of route a bit of a bullnose on it. It's only going to be however thick it is. Route the bullnose on there, stain it up to kind of match. That would kind of be like a handyman type approach. And that might be all right if you can't get a hold of the molding. But yeah, you're gonna have to order a special molding in. It's called a stair nosing molding. And hey, if you didn't see the video from last week, check that out right up here. That was a really cool video about AA batteries. Really surprising results. I wasn't expecting what took place in that video to happen. So check that out. Thanks a lot for watching. You guys are the best. 100,000 subscribers. Unbelievable.